Buy-in is compliance. And if all you're focused on is compliance, the best you will ever get is mediocre. Think about that one. I stole it from somebody. I can't remember who said it, or I'd give them credit. I'm not that smart. But this process, and what I want to give you is another thing, add to your toolbox, how to overcome resistance to change. And lastly is enhancing the standards of care. So who in here has had an idea, an improvement, some kind of, optimization of a workflow, and they worked on this team with this project, with these trades, and then it evaporated into outer space? Yeah? Is that irritating? Yeah. And so I'm going to introduce you to a method. And again, a lot of this is light touches because this is the microdose, but a method, a proven method to lock that stuff in and make it stick without threatening people, right? It's going to take extra work. Now, those are like the fancy objectives that are easy to grab with our hands. But my covert mission is to introduce you to ways, or at least the awareness and realization that our trades, who in here has heard somebody else say, I wish they would just think for themselves? They're just doing it the stupidest and hardest way possible. They don't even care, right? Yeah. So what I want to plant in your head is that the way we manage, operate, lead, and function has disconnected them from their agency. They don't even know that they can influence their future. Quality of life. I've talked a lot about quality of life. Not only applying this stuff, it didn't just impact Ruben's quality of life, it impacted my quality of life. Like, I know y'all think the lean people, that they don't really have a job, it's easy, all they got to do is play around with stickies. And rejection every freaking corner they turn. And that don't feel good, especially if you're sensitive like me, right? Like, it doesn't feel good to not to be wanted, especially by your own people, much less the subcontractors, man. And then lastly, relationships. Who in here is a relationship expert? No? Okay. Have you ever had any relationships fail? Relationships with conflict? Relationships that are rich and enjoyable? You're an expert. Right? Doesn't mean you're batting 1,000, but you got a lot of reps doing it one way or the other. And so again, here, one thing that happens in story, I was doing this with a glazing company, subcontractor. They were behind schedule. They brought me in as a way to get them back on schedule. I thought it was a learning opportunity. No, that sub was on notice, and they brought me in to fix them. I didn't know this until I walked in the room, and I'm like, oh, I'm the bad guy here. That's okay, I know how to play that game. Anyways, we get out there, start studying the work, and their regional director of QA, he was in the room, which was good. Like, they're making a real commitment. We went out there, we did the thing that we're gonna do today, because that's kind of the warm up. Came back and said, what was your takeaway? He said, man, I suck. I said, oh, why? He said, I was talking to one of the guys, and that guy was so excited and happy. So how do you know? He said, well, the guy told me, he's like, man, I've been working for this company for 10 years. And no one has ever talked to me and asked me about my work. And that was within the same organization. That wasn't from a GC perspective. And I'm also here in a little bit, just give you a heads up so that you can defend yourself when we get there. I'm gonna bet a donut that there are people in this room right now that have never had a human conversation with another trade. Every interaction we have is punitive, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, making sure they got their PTSP or whatever the acronyms are y'all use. You don't know their name. You don't know anything about them. You don't know why they selected a trade. And that creates a divide. This little thing will help us build that. And my goal today is to make sure you experience it or some version of it. Sound good? So who wants to leave now? Now that you heard it, who's like, get me out of here? Nobody? Because it's warm in here. That's good. That's in my favor. So those are the covert objectives. All right, here we go. So you've got a sheet out in front of you. It is the work study chart, okay?